Hello everyone, today I'm going to present to you a game played by Spielman. Of course, in this game we are going to demonstrate how you can sacrifice your queen. We have an amazing queen sacrifice, and in return, how can you benefit from this queen sacrifice, or you can tell when it's the best time to sacrifice your queen and get an advantage in return. Okay, now we have Spielman started with e4, e5 black, and here we have king's gambit with f4, king's gambit accepted, queen to f3, developing the knight, c3, of course limiting the knight's moves. Now we have knight to f6, advancing the pawn, creating a very nice pawn structure here. And now black, of course, limited the move of the pawn, advancing pawn. White played e5, of course, attacking the knight. Knight to e4. Of course, we have very advanced knight. In this position, developing the pieces, bishop to b5, queen to h4. Of course, white moves his king away, because if you are going to, let's say, block with the pawn, here we have knight take, or in this position you can say take, and then take, and here we have black is of course up with pawn material, and of course we have all these three pawns with open files advancing. So this is not a very good position for white. So the best move was moving the king out of the way. Now advancing the pawn on g with g5. Of course, the next move is going to be advancing, threatening to take. And also we have bishop to g4, threatening to take the queen. Here we have developing the knight with d2, and as we can see, bishop to g4, of course, as we have anticipated. In this position we can see that the queen is trapped. There's no place to go except, of course, this square. But in this position, of course, white accepts to sacrifice his queen, and here we have knight takes on e4, sacrificing the queen. Take, threatening to take the queen, backing up the queen. In this position, check. Of course, now you have king centered in the middle, not allowing the king to castle. Moving the king to d8, advancing the pawn. Of course, the idea of this move is to destroy the black's pawn structure. So this is the main pawn that keeps the chain. Of course, if you can't take, you are going to take. You can keep the queen in this position. Otherwise, you are going to take the rook and check the king. But this pawn will be taken sooner or later. Black played bishop to e7. Now take with the knight, as we have accepted, as we have anticipated. Queen to g6, taking the pawn on d5. Bishop takes, pawn takes, and in this position black played queen to c2. A very bad move, by the way, because in this position you are trapping your queen. It was better to take this pawn. Yes, there are many moves for white to play, since he have very advanced pawns and developed pieces, but it's much better for you to take the pawn in this on g5 than to bring your queen in this position. Sooner or later it will be trapped. Now white bishop to e2, knight to e7, of course, threatening to take the knight on d5. Knight take the pawn on f4. Now advancing the pawn, of course, wishing to open files. Now white, of course, played rook to h3, preparing to bring the rook in this on this file up on this file to d square, of course, preparing to trap the queen. And this is what happens. Take. You can take with the pawn. It's pinned with the king, and soon your queen will be trapped. So moving the king in front, of course, connecting the two rooks together. In this position here we have a trapped queen. So taking the rook, of course, hoping to get some chance from this, maybe two rooks. Maybe he thinks much better, but we have advanced, we have very open files and diagonals for the bishops, an active knight, and soon the rook will be in the game. And now take with the pawn, developing the rook. Black played rook a to c8, protecting the knight, moving, of course, developing also the knight, and now developing the other bishop to f4, moving the king out of the way. And we have discovered, now we have, of course, playing the rook, bringing it to the game, protecting the pawn, discover check, moving out of the way, and then developing the knight, of course, taking this pawn and threatening to fork the two rooks, and you can do nothing about it. In this position, black resigned. We learn from this game, it's you don't think about sacrificing your queen unless you are going to be advanced with material, like two major pieces for the queen is very fine, and developing your pieces. That's how Spielman gave us an example how to sacrifice your queen. Thank you very much for watching. If you like the game, please like and comment below. Thank you very much. See you next games.